Great software starts with happy users. Software development is a constant race for innovation, but what truly sets apps apart to be extraordinary remain the ultimate goal that every business strives for. So, how do teams ensure their products not only work well but also resonate deeply with users? This is where user stories come in. These deceptively simple narratives hold the key to bridging the gap between technical specifications and real-world usability. By transforming user needs into relatable scenarios and actionable insights, turning complex requirements into seamless experiences. User stories bring clarity to usability testing, guiding developers and testers alike towards creating interfaces that are not just functional, but delightful to use. Welcome back to yet another episode of the xploreUXCast, where we help you make sense of your users or your customers. Today we're diving deep into a topic that bridges the gap between development and usability, and that is user stories and their role in crafting effective usability tests. What are user stories? Before we delve into why user stories matter for usability testing, let's establish a clear understanding of user stories. In essence, user stories are concise narratives that capture a desired functionality from the perspective of the end user. They typically follow a simple formula. For example, as a busy online shopper, I want a filter option by brand so that I can quickly find products from my favorite companies. User stories are powerful because they shift the focus from technical jargon to user needs and goals. They act as a bridge between developers, designers, and ultimately the users themselves. Now, let's explore how user stories become instrumental in crafting effective usability tests and why it matters. Usability testing is all about evaluating a product or service from the user's perspective. User stories inherently push the focus towards user needs. By using them as a foundation, we ensure our tests assess features that directly address user pain points and desired functionalities. User stories provide a rich source of material for developing test scenarios. From the as a and I want sections, we can identify user roles and desired actions. This translates into specific tasks users would try to accomplish during the test. Also, effective user stories often include acceptance criteria, which define what success looks like for a particular feature. These criteria can be directly translated into pass-fail conditions for usability tests. This ensures we're testing functionalities against a set of well-defined user expectations. Love xploreUXCast. Here's how you can make a difference. Be a UX champion. Chat with friends, family, and anyone who wants to learn about UX and usability testing. You can supercharge the show. Subscribe, rate, and review xploreUXCast on wherever you listen to podcasts. This helps others discover the good stuff and lets the platform know we're winning. Let's talk UX. Leave comments on the podcast or social media. Got a burning testing question or a topic you'd love to hear explored? Hit me up. And join the UX crew by signing up for our newsletter on LinkedIn and connect with fellow UX enthusiasts. See links in the description. So, how can user stories enhance your testing process, you may ask? Here's a practical breakdown of how to leverage user stories throughout your usability testing journey. Refine user stories. The first step is to gather and analyze existing user stories. Look for common themes, user roles, and desired functionalities. Prioritize user stories based on their impact and potential usability concerns. Develop user profile. User stories often point towards specific user groups. Use them to develop detailed user personas, fictional representations of your target audience. These personas will further refine your testing by considering user demographics, behaviors, and goals. Craft test scenarios. Based on the user stories and personas, develop a set of realistic scenarios that users would encounter. Remember, the goal is to mimic real-world usage and identify usability roadblocks. Don't just test happy day scenarios. Consider edge cases and potential user errors based on the functionalities outlined in the user stories. Define success criteria. Refer back to the acceptance criteria outlined in the user stories or define your own success metrics. This will help you determine whether users can effectively complete tasks and achieve their goals as described in the user stories. Consider metrics like time to completion, task success rate, and user satisfaction. Recruit participants who match your user personas and conduct your usability testing sessions. Observe how users interact with the product service, focusing on the scenarios derived from your user stories. Pay close attention to any deviations from the expected user flow as outlined in the stories. Analyze results. After testing, analyze the data to identify usability issues, areas of confusion, and user pain points. Look for patterns that connect back to the specific user stories under evaluation. Ask yourself questions like, did functionalities align with user needs as expressed in the stories? Refine and iterate. Based on your findings, refine the user stories and address the usability issues identified. This iterative approach ensures your product continues to evolve and cater to user needs as expressed in the stories. I believe you can see the value of user stories. They offer many benefits, but here are three major ones from my experience. Increased user focus. The entire testing process stays centered on the user. You're testing features that directly address user needs and functionalities they value, as outlined in the user stories. Improve test efficiency. User stories guide you in creating targeted scenarios and avoiding irrelevant or unrealistic testing situations. This translates into more efficient and focused testing sessions, allowing you to cover more ground in less time. Enhanced collaboration. User stories serve as a common language between developers, designers, and usability testers. Everyone is on the same page about the user goals and functionalities under evaluation, reducing miscommunication and ensuring the user stories translate into a product. Well, to every coin, there is a flip side. While user stories are a valuable tool, it's important to acknowledge potential challenges. User stories are crucial, but incomplete ones can create misleading test results. To ensure clarity, hold workshops with developers, designers, and user researchers. This diverse group can craft user stories that capture the user's perspective effectively. Additionally, user research techniques like card sorting or surveys can provide valuable input to refine stories before testing. However, user stories can sometimes focus too much on functionality over the user experience. Don't just test individual features. Use test scenarios to observe the entire user journey. Ask yourself, is it seamless and intuitive? Consider user emotions and frustrations along the way. Remember, user stories might not capture the whole picture, Combine user story testing with user interviews or ethnographic studies to gain a complete understanding of user behavior and identify broader usability issues. Now, let's explore some advanced strategies for leveraging user stories in your testing beyond the foundational steps. Many user stories have alternative solutions. Use these variations to your advantage. Conduct A/B testing to compare different approaches and see which one users find most user friendly. Imagine a user story about a search filter. You could test different placements, designs, or labels to identify the most intuitive option. User story mapping for complex products. For complex products with intricate user journeys, consider user story mapping. This visual technique maps user stories across different workflows and user types. This helps identify potential gaps in your testing strategy, ensuring a thorough evaluation of the entire user experience. Evolving with user feedback. Remember, user stories are living documents. As you gather user feedback through testing, refine and update your stories to reflect real-world user needs and behaviors. This iterative approach ensures your product continues to resonate with users as their needs and expectations evolve, reflected in the ever-growing user stories. Final thoughts. User stories bridge the gap between development and usability testing. They act as a user-centric foundation, ensuring tests align with actual needs and expectations. This translates to creating a truly user-centered product that prioritizes functionalities users truly desire. By incorporating user stories, you unlock several advantages. First, focusing on desired functionalities leads to higher user satisfaction and loyalty as the product directly addresses their problems. Second, identifying usability issues early through user story testing prevents costly rework later, saving development resources. Finally, prioritizing user needs through user stories gives you a competitive edge by delivering an intuitive and user-friendly experience that stands out in a crowded market. Interested in learning more about user stories or usability testing methodologies? Check out the links in the description below. Have you had success stories utilizing user stories in your testing process? Share your experiences on X at xploreUXCast. Thanks for joining me on this exploration of user stories and their role in usability testing. Until next time, keep exploring the world of UX. Cheers and have a good one.
Me wind and rain, you're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry.